Welcome back to Power to Thrive. I'm Dale Campbell. I'm here with my buddy, best-selling author Cliff Blodgett. Before we even get into any topics or anything, America, listen, subscribing to the channel as well as your comments is very important. With that being said, Cliff, let's get into today's topic.
We're getting ready to switch gears here. We've been talking about a lot of different things in the news and things that are happening, but the bottom line is that in real world terms, we haven't had a pay increase in 50 years because the cost of living and the cost of food and the cost of rent goes up faster than the pay increases that we get. So we're better off 50 years ago. During COVID, there was a massive wealth transfer to the ultra rich. Things got bad during COVID. The amount of businesses that shut down was staggering. It's called disaster capitalism. The ultra rich, the Walmarts, the Amazons, all that, they make tremendous increases in their wealth, in their market share. It's transfer of wealth from us to the ultra rich. So this stuff that Trump's doing with the tariffs and all this, it'll probably work out great for the ultra rich, but it's going to be another wealth transfer and it's going to hurt us. So what's the best way to get ready? Cut expenses and save money is the first thing. There's a lot of ways that we could minimalize. This is a consumer culture right now. We've been trained that you just spend and spend, and it's a good thing to go in debt and buy cars on payments and buy houses on payments and buy everything else on credit cards. The first thing to do to get ready for it getting worse is to cut expenses. Stop buying stuff on credit, and really, unless it's absolutely necessary, stop buying stuff at all. Food costs can be cut drastically. We're going to talk about how to actually do that on this channel. Most people could cut their food costs in half. They think, oh, that's not possible, but it is. And at the same time as cutting their food costs in half, they could actually eat much healthier. And by eating healthier, they can cut their healthcare expenses. Because most people are in really bad physical condition. The average American has more than one chronic disease. That's caused by the food. So as we cut food costs, we can improve our health drastically. Other things we can do is we can cut the cost of housing, and we'll talk about how to do that. At first, most people hearing this are going to say, oh, no, that's not possible, but it is. There's ways we can cut our cost of housing. And another thing we can do is cut the costs that we spend on cars and car notes and car expenses. And it's just staggering. The whole combination between food, medical, housing, and rent causes us to be in self-imposed slavery because of our choices of what we do. And we can break free from the shackles of debt slavery by doing things differently. It may be difficult at first, but we can control that. We'll have separate episodes on each of those areas on how to curb that expense. Because if we cut our expenses way down, the end result is that we're going to be able to put a boatload of money in the bank. So let's say we do that and we put all this money in the bank. What's the downside? Let's say that this doesn't go into a catastrophe, and let's say there's not another big depression or a recession. Let's say I'm wrong and everything's going to be okay. Okay, so poor you. You just figured out how to save a whole lot of money and now you got money in the bank. That's nothing to cry over. That's a good thing. So there's no downside to this. You come out good no matter which way it turns. If there's a depression or a recession and things keep getting worse and worse, you got money in the bank and you're better off than the average guy. If everything's okay, you got money saved up. You can do things that you couldn't do ordinarily. So either way, you come out a winner. Another thing we can do is we could prepare by learning skills that we don't have right now. Skills like being able to fix our own car. If these tariffs cause car costs to double, it won't just be new cars, it'll be used cars. And then if car costs double, then you know that car maintenance and car service is going to double too. If all this stuff doubles, car costs are going to be killing people. If you could do some or all of the work yourself, you could save a boatload of money there. We'll be talking about that and doing episodes on basic car maintenance and car repair that anybody can do. And we'll be talking about which things are intelligent to do that you could do yourself and which things are not that great to do. People used to have victory gardens where they grew a lot of their own food. That saved tremendous amounts of money. People blow that off now, and suburbs are set up so that sometimes having a vegetable garden is going against deed restrictions. They want to prevent you from being able to save money by growing your own food, stop you from doing it, force you to buy everything from the store. During World War II, 50% of all food came from victory gardens. A victory garden was a garden in your backyard. Now, people wouldn't know how to grow their own food if it hit them in the head. We need to start learning this stuff again. So we'll be talking about that, and we'll be traveling and hitting the road and showing you people that are doing this and what works and what doesn't. People used to build their own houses. People didn't get a mortgage and all this garbage. They would just buy the land at whatever they could afford, buy it outright. They didn't borrow money to do it, and then they built their own houses. In the early 1900s, late 1800s, more houses were built by people building their own houses than houses that builders would build, because people just couldn't afford it. So their neighbors, their families, they'd all gang together and build a house. They'd have house building parties. Take them a month or two, and then they'd have a house, and they'd help each other out. People don't help each other anymore. That's just gone. I mean, who helps each other anymore?
Not many.
Nobody.
Clifford, I have a question. The first thing I know that's going to come up to you as a question is, well, I only make this amount of money. I only make $15, or I make $20. How can I save with me making that amount of money?
By learning how to do a lot of this yourself, and then by cutting your food costs. Food costs can be cut drastically. People have no idea of what's actually possible. And if I start talking about it now, it'll lead this episode to be an hour long. So we're going to have episodes that we specifically devote to cutting food costs. But you can cut your food costs more than in half. And most people spend an awful lot of money every month on food, especially if you got a family, especially if you're eating out in restaurants. That can just be cut way down.
Well, I'm sure they'd love to hear what we got to say about that. So, with that being said, America, keep your mind wandering on what you think we're going to say.
Yeah, we're getting ready to take it to another level, and reach out in the comments like Dale says, really, because if you have any ideas on different cost cutting that you'd like to hear about, or if you have any thoughts on things that have worked particularly well for you, reach out in the comments section. Let's get this comments section going. Have a good night.
Let's go, America. Have a good night. See you on the next episode.